Welcome back to the PickaxeAndRoll.com film room, where we will be looking at Game 35 between Denver and Orlando, two teams trying to prove they belong in the upper echelon of their respective conferences. We've talked about the mismatches that some teams can get on the Nuggets if they have a good perimeter shooting power forward. Here you're going to see Rashard Lewis with a mismatch on Marcus Camby. Camby does not come out and pressure the ball, and that allows Lewis to get a clear pass into Dwight Howard for an easy dunk. The second clip was another example of how Camby hurt the Nuggets with his perimeter defense. He's too far off of Lewis and has to lunge at him. Lewis penetrates and then is able to draw on the defense and kick out to Jameer Nelson for a wide open three. Camby needs to be playing closer to those perimeter threats when he is having to guard one of them. Sorry, Marcus, but we're going to stick with you here in the next clip. The purpose for a cut on offense is to make the defense react because you are a threat to score. Watch Camby as he passes the ball to Melo and he just kind of lollygags across the lane. That is not a cut. That is not making him a threat. And because of that, he's easily boxed out and Orlando gets the ball. In my game report, I noted how Orlando was trying to stymie the Nuggets' transition game by sending four guys back on defense on the shot. And I noted how they had to make sure and run even off of makes. Watch Carmelo take off as soon as the ball gets to the basket. He ends up beating the defense down the floor and getting a layup. The Nuggets did a really good job of running off of makes on this game. In this next clip, we're going to see a couple of defensive breakdowns, and they're triggered by something the Nuggets were doing in this game on purpose, and that was switching perimeter screens. Clays is going to get caught in a mismatch on Foyle and Naharan Turkoglu, and then you're going to notice that J.R. Smith and Claza do not rotate when they need to. Claza's man's across the lane, and then he comes over to help. He's got to get back now, and that would allow Iverson to get to the corner. Instead, Iverson has to cover for him, and Bogan gets a wide open three. That's poor rotation, and all it's caused by an unnecessary switch. Once again, we're going to see another example of the Nuggets running after a make and result being a dunk. Watch how Melo and Kenyon Martin both take off right away. There's a quick inbounds pass. Olave head to Melo, and he makes a great over-the-head pass back to Kenyon for the dunk. That's a really good job of running after a make. I've said before that I believe Kenyon Martin is a tremendous passer, and here is yet another example of that. You're going to see off of a very long pass up the floor, he's able to redirect it off a touch pass right to Clazo for a great layup. That is a tremendous pass, and I don't think most people realize how difficult it really is. Next, we're going to see something I'd like to see the Nuggets do more of, and they set a lot of on-ball screens, and here is an off-the-ball screen. You're going to see Martin set a strong pick, and then Claza cut off it really sharp and turn into the lane, and gets a layup and a foul. That's something that the Nuggets should do more of. They have the athletes to come off that screen hard and finish in the lane. This next play is something that's very frustrating to see for Nuggets fans. It looks at first like Anthony Carter makes a bad pass, but watch how slowly Carmelo comes off the screen, and then instead of going to the ball, he's drifting away from it, which allows the defender to come in between him and the ball, get an easy steal, and a fast break opportunity where the Nuggets have to foul. This next clip is an example of something you absolutely have to have as a running team. Watch where Carmelo Anthony starts out compared to Rashard Lewis, and then watch where he ends up. He blows past him, and as a result of that, gets a wide open layup. Good job, Carmelo. Way to get out on that fast break. The next clip I want to show you is some poor communication by the Nuggets on defense, and you have to have good communication to be a good transition defense. Carmelo is going to make the correct decision and guard Lewis, Camby's man, but he doesn't tell Camby, and Camby doesn't recognize it. Because of that, Carmelo's man is left wide open, and Camby doesn't go back and cover him. Fortunately, he misses it, and that's poor transition defense and poor communication. I've been very hard on Marcus Camby for his perimeter defense, and here's an example of some very good perimeter defense by Marcus on Rashard Lewis. You're going to see that he starts off denying the ball even out to about 18 feet from the basket right here, and that is something that he has not done yet this year. And then he stays within an arm's length of him, and that's with his length. That's all he has to do with a good perimeter shooter. No one's going to try and take that shot on him if he's within an arm's length of the shooter. This next clip is an example of good spacing on offense. Carmelo's going to get the ball, Iverson's going to cut, and then he's going to have plenty of room to operate. Carmelo gets a shot blocked, but Iverson is able to get the rebound, and Camby gets a wide open layup because of that good spacing. Most defenses are set up to rotate into the corner first and then work off of that. This time Iverson drives the baseline. Instead of making that normal pass to the corner, he kicks it out to the wing, and because of that, Rashard Lewis, who is normally the guy that would rotate to guard Nahara at that top of the circle, has to take Anthony Carter. Orlando is scrambling, and because of that, the Nuggets get the rebound, and Claza gets a nice, easy shot. Tremendous pass by Iverson, putting the defense out of sorts. We praised Melo earlier for outrunning Rashard Lewis on a fast break, where here Lewis returns the favor. You'd love to see your players be able to hustle going both ways. Melo should know where Lewis is, but he has no idea, and because of that, Lewis gets a wide open layup. Melo needs to do a better job of seeing the threat coming up the floor. This play here resulted in what I believed was the three that pretty much put the game away for Denver. You're going to see, again, great spacing by the Nuggets. Iverson is going to attack the weak side of the defense away from the screen. Jameer Nelson has to help, and because of that, Carter gets a wide open three. And Carter's been hitting big shots lately for the Nuggets, and I hope he keeps doing it. That's good spacing and a good attack by Iverson. Of course, just for fun, we've got to throw one more example of some poor perimeter defense by Camby. He is completely ill-prepared to get around the screen and cover the shooter, and because of that, Orlando gets a three that gives them a little bit of life left towards the end of this game. Marcus has to be ready to get around that screen if he's going to be playing on a perimeter player. I put this clip in here just to once again reinforce the respect that other teams have for Melo in the post. We saw San Antonio sag in to cover him, and here you're going to see Camby get the ball, and 4 Orlando defenders are going to sag into the paint. That's going to leave a wide open pass across the court for another big shot by none other than Anthony Carter. In this clip, we're going to see Melo grab a big rebound from Howard right at the end of the game. Notice how physical Carmelo's being, and he jumps up aggressively and grabs the ball before Howard even has a chance to react to it. And then look at the enthusiasm. That's one thing I noticed. The Nuggets players were trying to pump up the crowd the entire fourth quarter, and it shows how much they wanted to win this game. And here's a close-up of how Melo was able to force the man-beast Howard out of the way in order to be able to grab that rebound and close out the game for the Nuggets. Good job, Carmelo. The Orlando game proved to be a big win for the Nuggets against a quality opponent who's been good on the road this season, and it's the kind of game that maybe last year they might not have pulled out. Thanks a lot for joining me in the PickaxeandRoll.com film room, and I hope you enjoyed yourself, and I hope you come back again. And by the way, don't forget to check out my Nuggets blog at PickaxeandRoll.com, part of SB Nation.